lot of talk on the teleconference about Isaiah and what he means to you guys. Words like heart and soul, a guy that holds it together. How would you describe what he's done, what he means?
Isaiah here is a seasoned veteran who knows what going on the road in the SEC is like, who knows what it's like to be on the big stage that is Kentucky basketball. Nothing phases him. Coach Cal doesn't faze him. He's embraced everything that is the day-to-day grind of Kentucky basketball. And I think the thing that we're proud of is he has been the guy that is the first guy talking and then is the last guy talking, whether it's on offense, whether it's on defense, whether it's in timeouts. He's the guy that you could say is the straw that stirs the drink, with this group. So I'm happy for him that other people are recognizing it, because when you're with him every day, when you're in the gym with him, when you're in the huddles with him, you see how valuable he is.
Joe, when Cal says you all are a month away from where you can be at your best, what are you going to do in that month to get to that point? What's the plan?
I think it's day-to-day improvement. I think it's collective, togetherness. All those things that we've been talking about, since day one. So it's doing what these guys are doing in the weight room. It's doing what they're doing in the training room. It's doing what they're doing before practice, after practice, really, and even the unseen hours. Whether that's individually, whether that's collectively, it's all of the above. So I think any time that you're building a team, that you're always hoping that down the road you're going to be better than you are currently.
Joe, when you talk about that Coach Cal doesn't phase him, talking about Briscoe, take some of these freshmen a few months to get to the point where Cal doesn't phase him, just part of the process?
Well, I wouldn't say that any of our young guys are necessarily phased by it. I think Isaiah embraces it. He does it with a smile. And Cal's a guy that you have to know that Cal is doing this so that you become your best version. And Isaiah knew that in the recruiting process, and now that he's here, he's living it. And I think the best thing that, personally, I believe the thing that he does the best is he drags us. He's a gatherer of guys that gets us to where we want to go.
Wouldn't you want, as a coach, to phase your players?
I'm not the head coach, so I don't know what that would feel like, I guess. I mean, as a player, you want to be your best, and I think as an assistant coach here, and as someone who sells our head coach, who's a Hall of Fame coach, who's the absolute best at what he does, and who is undisputedly, unapologetically NBA prep and getting guys to where they want to go. I don't know that how they feel now is going to be how they feel, hopefully, the first weekend in April, and then ultimately when they're walking across that stage.
Cal said by the end of the season, Bam is going to be that guy. How much untapped potential does he have left?
He's got tons. I think anytime that we talk about Bam, I don't believe and I don't expect that anyone here is going to see Bam's best basketball. I think hopefully we can get him to be his best version right now before he leaves us, whenever that time is. But Bam is a guy that comes in every day and just has a tremendous desire and thirst to be the best that he can be, and then also have others around him be at their best.
Talk about the Mulder and what he's done to improve and getting a little more time on the court, what he's adding to the team.
Michael had a tremendous Camp Cal. When we were over the break, Michael was more competitive. He was one of the most competitive guys, in practice during that time, and it's paying off. I believe that Mike is playing maybe a little desperate. with his career coming to an end here in the next couple months. I'm happy for him personally with what he's done because, you see him putting in time. You see him getting to practice a little bit earlier, staying a little bit later. And by Michael being better, he's making our team better.
So we know what a young team looks like, looking at you guys. State's also a young team. What do they look like as a young team?
I think they're a team that plays extremely hard on both ends of the floor. They're a group that puts pressure on you, and it's going to be a hostile environment. And I think our guys are excited for the challenge, and it's going to be a big Tuesday night in the SEC on the road. And we have had now, opportunities to be on the road and test our youth. And I think for us, every time that you step out, you want to see where you are. And we'll see where we are on, January 17th. And we hope that we're in a better place than we were a week ago when we were on the road.
Seemed like Hamidou got out there real early the other night in Rupp Arena and was just kind of wandering around, looking around. How wide-eyed has he been since he got here, and what have these first few days of just sort of acclimation been like for him?
A little bit of everything. I asked him, that's what I'd asked him before, sometimes, kids are able to come to a game, whether it's on an unofficial or, official visit before they get here. He'd been in Rupp Arena, but it was not for a game. So for him to be in there, he was excited. That's what I asked him. He had been to other college basketball games, been to great atmospheres. So I think for him it was neat to see it. Obviously I'm speaking, maybe for him and that, but just in the short conversation that I had with him pregame, he was excited and he's here for the right reasons to become, his best version, and he knows that it's a process and you can't skip steps. And sitting and watching and learning is a big part of that. Hami's an extremely bright, inquisitive young man, and I think these next couple months are going to be critical, for his development and being the best that he can be.
What do you see in practice?
At this point, where we are, it's been, very little, just because, what he's been able to be a part of is mainly some breakdown drills here and there. I think as we get into these next couple weeks where he starts to feel a little bit more familiar with the system and what we're wanting from him, I think we'll start to see a little bit more of what he is and what he can do.
How much is a Weatherspoon the straw that stirs Mississippi State's drinks, would you say?
Yeah, I think he's a tremendous player. Obviously, in a little bit of the same role, maybe that we were just talking about Isaiah, with a group of young, inexperienced players. He's a guy that is able to provide maybe some stability, for that group, and with the Reddy coming off the bench, you probably have a little bit of that, with our group, with our seniors. So I would say that they're a team that's very similar, to us, and I would say that he is a guy who is a big part of, their success, and having that burden of success and failure is a big burden, for college basketball players, especially at a young age, and he seems to be handling it, quite well.
Anything else for Joe?
Last night you tweeted out some burger emojis after the McDonald's American game and said, "We're still hungry." How many more burgers can you guys take on?
I'm not sure. I was just hungry last night. I hadn't eaten all day. We practiced and was out of town for a little bit, and I had a cup of coffee and a donut, so I was hungry.
Sound like Cal with that answer.
All right, thanks, everybody.